Let's show how to use QRadar CE or whatever version of QRadar you have and the pfSense to conduct investigation at home. I got this offense at fire, and when we display the rules, obviously somebody is going to Tor related addresses, and I do not know that anybody here at home is actually doing so. So what this is all about? Clicking on the flows, we get to see this, and of course I'm covering my IP here at home, but this is clearly indicating that this is NTP because of the port 123. So why is this IP address being related to Tor? Well, let's start. I have Watson in here, so I can go straight to Watson and ask what does he know about this IP address. So we paste that in here and click search. It's actually indicating that well, it looks like this has been changing, registrars, but right now seems to be registered to something in Germany. Let's continue the investigation. Could it be that the X-Force, which is feeding my QRadar system, is not correct about that IP address? Well, when I go to VirusTotal, it also finds that, two indications that this thing is has some level of maliciousness, and it's also from Germany. Let's go to SANS network and see to SANS the SANS website and see what can we find there. So when I paste that address into the SANS Internet Storm Center, everything seems to coincide. So what the heck is going on here? The only thing that I knew about this is I was enabling additional things on pfSense. So is that something that has anything to do with that? When I Google for pfSense and that particular address, I find only one match. And when we go to this traffic, we actually see that looks like the ntp.org uses now that NTP, and my pfSense is contacting it to synchronize the clock, and that could be the reason. But do we know? I mean, don't we want to make sure that this is not, as I have shown several examples, something that the bad guys are trying to mask some attack by using port 123? Well, how do we check that out? Well, pfSense has the capability of doing packet capture. If you go here on the diagnostic and go here on packet capture, you get to the screens, and then what you can do is that you can paste that IP address in here and specify, for example, 1,000 or 2,000 counts of that and do start. After those 1,000 entries has been found, or whenever you want, you can actually click back here, stop, and then load the PCAP that pfSense got for you with that characteristic, with that filter out of all everything that is happening. It's just giving you that, and it's putting that into a file in my download directory, which it did. I installed the free Wireshark, and I can actually open that PCAP with Wireshark. And here it is. And notice that certainly enough, this is the internal IP address before it goes out onto the one. If we look at every one of these instances, Wireshark is giving us proof that this is true NTP protocol. It understands the protocol, so this is nothing malicious. So again, a good way of helping you, if you don't know it already, a way of doing from home some of this investigation. When I shared this with Polo, Polo said that this probably the case that pfSense uses that NTP, and that these threat intelligence sources have not been updated recently. And that's one of the caveats with threat intelligence information. It can lead to false positive. And if you don't know that, you will experience that very soon as you start doing this. How can we get this away from our system? If we go back to the offense, we don't want any one of these rules to fire when the destination IP is this one, because we have determined that it's not malicious. So we want to tune our system and get rid of this false positive. So you display the rules, and I'm going to double click into this rule and show you what I'll do to prevent this from firing again. One way would be to add a condition to that rule, and I put the word here match, and it came with this: the flow matches this search filter. And I click here plus, and what is the search filter? We click in here, and the tool very gently guide us there, right? So the source of the destination, that's actually from all the properties that we can, that's the one. Actually, we can put the destination. We don't need to make it both. Is equal to that. We click here add, we click submit, and here we have it. But very important, we want to whitelist this one. What we want to do is click here on the and it becomes the and not. And by doing so, this rule will not fire anymore. We need to do the same with the other rule, and we have cleared the false positive. We can now close this offense, mark it resolved, and I hope that this provides you some ideas on how to deal with this. I will be very interested if some of you guys have a different theory of why this actually happened. If you don't mind sharing that as comments of this video, so we all can learn from what you think that this is actually happened. And if you like this type of short tips on how to use the free curated CE, the free PSNs, the free Wireshark to improve the security at your house and learn cybersecurity in the process.